Hey everybody, can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you, Heidi.
Okay, sorry. So I am starting the encoder to be able to live stream this meeting and record it. We're having a few issues because a specific login that should be here is not. So please just hang in there, and as we get more people, I'll let them know what's going on.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, folks. I think we'll get started here in just a minute or two once we have quorum, and then we'll get underway.
Hi there, I am just getting the encoder ready. I'll let you know in just a second when when I'm ready, sorry.
Not to worry. Thanks for letting us know.
Okay, thank you.
Sure thing.
If you have a pink wristband, we ask that you please exit the library at this time. If you have a pink wristband, please exit the library. Thank you.
I gotta go.
Okay, just a little bit of housekeeping to do before we start our meeting. I just want to let anyone know that is joining us from the public that we do have information on the screen right now of how to join if you're interested. And raising your hand for public comment is important. You can join from your computer, laptop, and just click the participants link while you're in Zoom. If you have any questions, just let me know or raise your hand about participation. And again, that is for any public that might join us, and it doesn't look like we have anybody right now. I'll get better at that. And then stop sharing and go for it. Okay. Okay.
And it looks like Hatton might be in the wrong link. I'm not sure if that's something we can do anything about right now.
I think I can here. Yep, I just took care of her, and I think we are ready to start.
Thank you, Heidi. I don't know why it just put me in the webinar and not the real meeting.
Oh, not to worry. Well, glad we're all here. Hello, everyone. I'll call this meeting to order. Yeah, thank you all for being here on this gorgeous May day. I know that I had a lovely weekend out enjoying the sunshine, and I hope that every single one of you did as well. I suppose we'll send our best wishes to our Vice Chair, Sandra, and her newborn, who couldn't be with us today, but I'm sure she's having an exciting time learning the joys of being a new parent. Yeah, unless there's anything that anyone else would like to bring up now, I'd move ahead to entertain a motion to approve the minutes from April 19th.
This is Lisa. I'll make the motion to accept the minutes from April 19th.
Wonderful. Moved by Lisa. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Jake. All those in favor of approving the minutes from our April 19th meeting of the Missoula Civic Television Advisory Commission, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, please say nay.
Nevin, would you also be able to call roll for me? Do you have that?
Yes, I can call the roll for you. I'll just go in the order
Sorry to drop that on your lap.
Oh, not to worry. That's what I signed up for when I took the chair. All right. I'll just go through the list that I have on my agenda. Jake McNally.
Here.
Lisa Mecklenburg-Jackson.
Here.
Christopher Lenher. Toffer seems to be absent. Amber Sherrill.
Present.
Sandra Vasika is absent. Jenny Merriam.
Here.
Allison Franz is absent. Hatton Littman.
Here.
And Jen Sauer.
Here.
Wonderful. And Heidi, do you need me to announce the totals or for the record, or?
No, I think we're good to go. I have it all recorded.
Wonderful. We're at quorum, which is my favorite Q word. All right. So at this point, I'll move us into public comment. Is there any comment from members of the public?
I just want to say I got the opportunity to go through the new library facility, especially to look at MCAT's part of that building. I just want to thank all of you for getting that done. It's beautiful, and I think it's going to be a wonderful community asset for billions and billions of years to come. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Mike. I couldn't agree more. I got to check out the MCAT studios a couple weeks ago on a very well curated tour. Yeah, it's an amazing space and big, yeah, just a hearty congratulations to MCAT and the Missoula Community Foundation for broadcasting Missoula Gives out of there. That was a resounding success for the community. Yeah, wonderful. Heidi, I do notice that apparently we do have Allison here as a member of the public. So I don't know if we can get her on as a panelist, but if so, I would like to.
Got it, working on it now.
Oh, wonderful.
We do have one other person joining, a Diane Stensland Vickers.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Well, thank you for joining today, Diane. We are still in public comment, so if there's any comment that you'd like to submit to MCTAC, I'd encourage you to raise your hand, and now would be the time for it. Although admittedly, Heidi, I'm not sure how I would see that if that were the case.
I don't think she has indicated that she wishes to say anything.
Well, not to worry, it's not a requirement to attend, so happy you're here nonetheless. Without objection, we can move into line 4, review current programming schedule that has been recorded. Love to hand it over to.
I allowed her to talk.
Mute yourself.
Wonderful. Yeah, and Joel, if you'd like to give us an update on the things that have been recorded and what's coming up.
Okie dokie. You guys can hear me okay? I'm in a new spot. Okay. So for the city of Missoula, we've got a new program coming up, the Reaching Home May 11th, 2021 update. That's going to play on the channel. For the University of Montana, we have the vigil that was sponsored by the Student Assault Recovery Center, SARC, and Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, MMIW. Also, we completed that KBGA fundraiser as part of the streaming from the ZAC. I understand like they're going to slow down a little bit. In the summer, we'll be doing a stream show from the ZAC once a month. We are going to do, oh, I forgot one. We're going to do 2 graduations for University of Montana. One is going to be the law school, and the other is the Department of Public Administration and Policy. And we did do, I think this has already happened, Steve Hesley's retirement concert. He'd been in the music department for many decades. We're going to do an interesting training video for MCPS. Who was it? Hatton Chris Coate? I can't.
Yeah, so our custodial supervisor has a day of training for a lot of custodial staff, and he wants to record all the little breakout sessions so that staff who can't attend because of health concerns or staff who just haven't yet been hired can watch this content to improve our quality control over their tasks.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop in. I love cleaning, so.
Did he fill out a media assistance grant for you?
He did. And we worked it out, you know, that we'll have 3 people at his disposal that day, so one won't get burned out.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We're going to do the Hellgate 8th grade promotion ceremony. So they didn't call it graduation, they're getting promoted. And we worked out all the bugs of getting school board on channel 190. So we had quite the following on the Facebook, of course, and the Zoom meetings, and now we've got it back on channel 190. We're going to, this is all MCPS, we're going to live stream honoring our Native American graduating seniors. And Hellgate Band has asked us to get their concert series. They're doing a Big Dipper, the Big Dipper on 5th across from the Senior Center. Missoula County, we're going to keep up with their Passenger Rail Summit that's held monthly. Missoula Public Library is keeping us busy with their 3 core activities for us to stream, and that's Tiny Tales Storytime and the Locavore cooking series. And I was thinking, now that we are open to the public, I'm going to ask them if I can invite other people in the community to do cooking shows, because they only do that once a month. There's a full kitchen there. I have a few names in mind of people, and if you all can think of anyone who is interested in doing a cooking demonstration show, send them my way. It's a full kitchen. Yes, Hatton?
Well, I think they're doing cooking demonstrations and classes at the food bank. And so I wonder about those resources, doing them in the lab at the library and you being able to record it. So there may be some professionals who are already tasked with teaching classes like that at the food bank that you could have them come over to your studio and do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's a grand idea. Right, because at the food bank, they have at least 3 kitchen stations to show people how they can cook bulk food more healthfully and cheaper. That's a great idea. I'm going to ask.
And another tie-in might be really, really neat is to actually invite folks from, like, get in touch with Soft Landing Missoula and get in touch with All Nations Health Center and do like a cultural food cooking series. Would be really cool to showcase the wide range of cultures we now have in Missoula.
Got it. Oh, that's a great idea. Soft Landing All Nations Health Center. Okay. Oh, for Missoula County, the monthly virtual town halls. We're doing that. And I assume they're going to get, right. That will be a birth from the pandemic of an enduring Zoom meeting because of the physical distance, but maybe they get together on occasion. We also streamed and will replay the public input on the temporary safe outdoor space. Highway 93. Then in general, our media assistance grants are slowly coming back, but it's still kind of slow. The Public Policy Institute of the Rockies, that's Kimberly Dudek. We did that weekly during the legislative session. They are going to monthly Tuesday talks, as the ZAC weekly is going to monthly. Oh yeah, Nevin mentioned the Missoula Gives. They did their streamathon right here from our studio, and that went really well. I think they got $1.1 million from their $1 million goal. We've been asked by Arts and Above to do an outdoor dance performance. And Rocky Mountain Ballet Theater is once again doing Ballet Beyond the Borders, and that's always been streamed by us because of its international viewership. Joyrise Movement Studio, it has a sort of like a Healing with Horses program. And I guess Ron's going to go down the Bitterroot to create some sort of program about trauma and equine activities. And we're continuing to work with the Missoula Art Museum and the Missoula Aging Services. They got a series called Dementia Friendly Missoula. And part of that is an art series that they're doing at the museum. Ribbon cutting ceremony for the Meadowlark. That was great. The YWCA shelter. And for the Watershed Education Network, we're putting together a series of training programs called Citizen Science in the Watershed. And then just in general, we have scoured the National Ad Council, and they have several good public service announcements for vaccine encouragement. So it's just a sort of general vaccine encouragement program. They've got 3 really good public service announcements, and we've been running those. So that's what's been going on and will go on in the last month and the month forthcoming.
Wonderful. Thanks for that update, Joel.
Allison,
Yeah.
are you saying something? Sorry, Nevin. I thought Allison was saying something, but I can't hear her.
It looks like you're unmuted, but we can't hear you.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Do you have headphones plugged into your device by any chance? Or a Bluetooth speaker?
Or you could use the chat and we'd look. Oh, now you really are muted. You could write in the chat, Allison.
Sorry, everyone, I'm unable to adjust that in Zoom. So I can unmute her, but she's still not coming through.
I imagine it must be an issue with the audio input. I don't know if there's anything you can do on the settings on the side of the microphone icon at the bottom right, the bottom left, excuse me, but that might do it. Yeah, I suppose if we want to move into 4.2, let's see, there's Allison's phrase. I'm just wondering if there's any way to personalize the vaccine PSAs so we can direct people to the covid19.missoula.co vaccine site. Thoughts on that?
Yes, could be done. That's a great idea. At the end of the PSA, we can add a card that would direct people to it. Is there a I shouldn't ask. Is there a shortcut to it, you know? Well, because it's, you know, it's going to be on TV. I'll just try to make it as succinct as possible.
covid19.missoula.co.
Yeah, if
Oh,
you can say it while you have the title card up there,
Yeah.
I think when you hear it, people commit it to memory a
Really
little.
easy.
Yeah.
I forgot it already. Say it again. I'm going to write it down.
covid19.missoula.co.
Oh, that is really
Used
easy.
it very successfully in our radio ads.
Okay. Okay, got it. That's a good improvement.
The idea being that even though the vaccine coordination team is no longer a thing, Allison is still maintaining our website. So people can go there and it's all the information about where you get a shot.
Okay.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for that suggestion, Allison, and for figuring that out, folks. Yeah, yeah, I suppose at this point, does anyone have anything on the radars for events that MCAT could record or televise? I know I've got one that might be a little out of our way. I know the new environmental studies program director here at the University of Montana is starting to piece together some climate resilience education forums as a partnership with the Bitterroot Water Forum, and that could be coming much further on down the line, but that might be of interest to some folks. Organized through the university. So
yeah. Nevin, we do sometimes go down there, like we always do, an annual, well, of course we didn't do it last year. It's called America's Super Pageant, and Janet Beer always asks us to do it. And yes, it's like a beauty pageant of people of all shapes and sizes. So it's very cool. And Janet lost a daughter to Highway 93 some years ago. And she puts on this pageant every year in her daughter's honor at the Hamilton High School. And it has a lot of things about like a seatbelt safety, it's transportation issues. Anyway, we do that every year. We go down to Hamilton. So it's something, you know, we can't do it for everyone, but guess what? Everyone doesn't want us. So it kind of works out just fine. So if there's something down there, we've also done for the state parks. I can't think of the name of the one that's down there. Fort Owen State Park. I can't think of it, but it's something we regularly do in the summer as story time from the state parks, as close as they are, like Milltown, and the one I can't think of that's on the way to Corvallis, maybe.
Traveler's Rest.
Thank you. Yes, but no, it's a different one. It's like on the other side. It's on the left side going south, meaning it's on the east side. Lee Metcalf Wildlife Refuge. Ugh, getting too old. But yes, we have done tours of Traveler's Rest.
Yeah, Okay, it could either be Lee Metcalf or the Teller Wildlife Refuge
Yes, thank
down
you.
there. Yeah.
Well, you're a Bitterrooter. You know all about it.
I am from the Bitterroot originally. Yep. That's fine. And that's all that we need.
Nice to call people Bitterrooters.
Oh, we don't have a better name for ourselves, but I'm a Missoulian now and a Missoulian forever.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Could I also say just one more thing? I may be coming to you, MCTAC, with a more fleshed out request to do some videos around the topic of homelessness that can be linked to our homelessness part of our website. Everything is in quite a bit of flux right now. I'm sure you've all seen outdoor camping and public pushback, and the mayor's taking leadership on this topic, and we're trying to divine what exactly to do. But one of the things that we need to do is tell the story of homelessness in our community and across the nation better. And so we have a small group working with Emily Armstrong, and she's thinking that telling some stories linked to our webpage and then also on the city YouTube channel might help people understand the situation better. So I just kind of wanted to float that by all of you, and we'll come with a more specific proposal. Maybe in between meetings by email.
Jenny, are you the ones that produced that great story about the couple? Maybe it was even a news station. I can't remember, but it was a couple. Oh, I know what it was. I think it was part of the annual meeting for YWCA, but they showed the story of a couple who lost their jobs and had medical problems and became homeless as a result of it, and then waited forever to get their vouchers to get into housing. It was so compelling and so well done. And I think KPAX may have donated some time to produce it because Jill Valley was part of that fundraising meeting. Anyway, if you get a chance to watch it, it was so good. And it was
at the annual luncheon, right? Yeah, I saw it. I was there. It was great. That's the kind of thing that Emily and this team we're thinking could be helpful.
Yeah, I think, I think we'd all be pretty well open to that. It's, obviously one of the issues that's most visible and definitely on the community's mind as far as what the public would like
Very
more information
much
about. So yeah, so
and very challenging last week.
Yeah, and goodness knows that Emily does great work over there, and well, so do you, frankly. But I try to say that at least once a month in a meeting on the record.
I don't actually know that helping people to understand how people become homeless would change people's minds about how they would like us to approach homelessness in our community. But it never hurts to explore and explain an issue more than we normally do through press or something on the website, and people really do like video.
Yeah, absolutely. Just preemptively, I'm all for like building up some of that baseline understanding of like what homelessness means here in Missoula specifically. And I look forward to seeing the fleshed out proposal.
Jenny, would you consider when you're writing that proposal, maybe one episode on what the safety net actually looks like in Missoula too? Like how the organizations coordinate and talk to each other, and how like the downtown ambassador team refers people. And do you know what I mean? I feel like that's also a source of like, people don't understand what we actually do to coordinate services for families.
I think that that's true, Hatton. I don't know if you had a chance to tune into the Reaching Home annual update. We recorded it, and that was what Joel was saying. They're going to play repeatedly. That explains all of that. We could certainly do a shorter version, and I think that's a really good point. I mean, I think it's hard to explain to people that we are putting a ton of resources into homelessness when they see homeless people everywhere in the city. Those two things don't match.
I would just add that I agree with Hatton too. I was on the Reaching Home, Jenny. And I thought it was great and got a lot of good information. But I think we could kind of whittle that down to more, hate to say sound bites, but like things that are, the fact that nationally they're predicting a 40% increase in homelessness, and that's a really compelling number right there. So, I mean, there's some other things in that presentation I thought were important, but it is long. So, I mean, you've really got to be motivated to watch the whole thing and probably have to be someone that's involved and therefore someone that already knows to watch the whole thing. So
agree. I forgot about that 40% that I was just, no.
Yeah, I'm still reeling from that number, to be quite honest.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I would concur. There's goodness knows there are, times where I will dive into a 2-hour video presentation, and there are times where I want something digestible that we can put into a PSA or something in that nature.
Well, that's what we were thinking, was just a series of little videos off the website and on YouTube that not only tell the stories, but could explain things like that.
Yeah. Joel, is the long meeting already on your YouTube?
On the city's YouTube, the long meeting, it's on our video on demand, and also we're putting it on channel 190 in a regular rotation. So some of the ways that we try to approach, that conundrum where those who know already know, like if someone's going to invest 2 hours in watching the update, then a lot of the issues presented are already known to them, is the flipping through effect. So that, we notice a lot of cable people are still flipping through channels, and we hopefully have a soft spot in their hearts, because we're local. So they'll pick up their own sound bites. If we play this, and I think Lori's intention was to play it twice a week for the next month, we have 8 times that people could be shifting through, and they're going to see some part of it and maybe stay for a little while and try to absorb, some of that. I mean, I think I've done a number of interviews with various directors of the Poverello, and the shortest version of what we come up with is that people want to lack empathy for people who are less fortunate because it's more convenient to do so. And one of the issues that's around homelessness is this idea of that homelessness is an affront to the economy. It means that the people have opted to be there rather than being victims of misfortune. It means that the game of capitalism is still intact. So what people's initial reaction is, they want to characterize the homeless of people who have decided to be in the situation in which they are, find themselves, so that they choose that. And that people will not see the homeless family so much, or see that the people that are homeless actually are holding jobs. They will see what they want to see, and that's the hobo, the raconteur, the old man who wants to drink from the bottle or something, or the lazy or the indolent. So that's a lot of what stereotypically we want to fight against. And you create empathy by creating or allowing people to see that the homeless people are a lot like the people viewing them, only less fortunate for this or that reason. Like, the series of catastrophes we talk about, ill health, loss of a job, so on and so forth. So I would imagine, I mean, I don't want to be too presumptive as to where we'd be going with them, but it would be something along those lines of trying to paint a more human picture of the homeless, knowing that people that see them as purely problematic want to see them as autonomous, you know, and not victims, but shirkers and that kind of thing.
Well, we have a general idea too. I'm particularly big on this, that people in Missoula might not understand that it's a national problem. It's in every city all over the country, which you can tend to forget. It's so surprising in Missoula, but I know people in other cities likely say the same thing. So we need
Yeah,
to portray it as the national problem it is.
I agree with that, Jenny. I think that's really important. And I think that national number, we almost can't get that out there enough. And I read an article, I don't mean to get too far off, but a few years ago, and LA was just losing their minds over the fact that they had a 14% increase in homelessness from one year to the other. So, and just what a catastrophe this was for them and how they were going to deal with it or attempt to deal with it. So, you know, that number is just so big. And I mean, it's not confined to Missoula, as we all know, but I think that's important too.
Yes, you're right.
So Jenny, just to be sure, we could potentially be getting the request from you and Emily to approve some use of hours for this sometime between now and the next meeting. Just want to be sure that.
Yeah, you might. We have another meeting coming up, and I just wanted to float it to see if everyone was probably pretty open to the notion. And we'll bring you something more definite, just in terms of maybe we can even rough out what incidents we want to film, what episodes, like 3 people who became homeless, 1 explainer, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think, you know.
And Joe will be helpful too.
Oh, he usually is. Knows his way around a storyboard.
Experience in this area.
Wonderful. Yeah, well, in that case, I'm sure we look forward to that proposal once we get it. One thing that I wanted to see if we could touch on, and this might be either for Mike Painter or for Joel Baird, but if there's any, I don't know if now would be an appropriate time to give an update on the county franchise, but I don't know if that's been discussed yet. Joel, anything on that?
Yes, there is. And it has a really nice outcome for the government channel in general. So Ann Hughes is probably still on holiday, isn't she, Allison? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so I expect when she comes back, we can ink something up. And this is generally what the county is going to provide for. 1.5 more persons at MCAT. The point of having the one person, especially, is twofold along library lines. We would like to be open post-pandemically the same hours as the library, and that's 67 hours a week. So we're definitely going to need more people to person the counter. The rationale behind the longer opening is to make MCAT services more accessible to the people that live in the giant county. So that if somebody from Frenchtown wants to come over and do a show or borrow a camera or learn how to edit, they can do that on Sunday from noon to 5 because we're going to be open just as the library is open. So I'm really happy about that outcome. So that's going to take about half of the 1.5 persons, and then the other half of that one person is going to be to physically go to the branches of the library and offer animation classes for kids in Frenchtown, in Potomac, in Lolo, in Sealy, and maybe up into Swan. That's going to be an exciting challenge. But I've always felt, you know, particularly from an MCPS point of view, that Sealy got the short end of the stick, that we did all the sports and stuff, you know, locally. graduations and concerts and stuff. So I'm hoping to focus more energy on Sealy, just as county residents could have more service within the school, within their county. The other half is that a person is going to do work at the behest of the county, the half person. So we got the one person is going to be at the library here and the libraries hither and yon. And the half person is going to do work for the county, creating PSAs, focusing on programs, making sure county commissioners is done. They all, those community councils in Frenchtown in our lead. The one we've been doing for over a decade is Bonner Milltown. So there's that, and we're hoping to, add more help to the historical museum on behalf of the county on that half person and so on. And then the most exciting component is I asked, well, that's all very exciting, but from the channel point of view, from the ADA point of view, I've asked money to support closed captioning all of the programming. That includes all city programming and all public producer programming on both channels. And that can be done with the county funding. So hopefully sometime towards the fall, we'll start the training and getting the equipment in July, Lord willing. Both our public access channels will be closed captioned. That includes live meetings will be closed captioned, and anything we want to send through the system afterwards.
Whoa.
It's artificial intelligence, so it's not like an electronic stenographer listening somewhere, but the accuracy rate at the package the county is enabling us to get has a 98% accuracy. So
that's really super great, Joel.
What's it called?
So it's through our automation system called Castus, but one can presume that Castus is actually renting time on the cloud with a very proficient artificial intelligence subcontractor that we don't hear about, but they probably add a little money to it. So in any event, that's how it's going to work. So because everything comes here to the library now, like school board, it's coming through the internet over to the library and then down to charter on 3rd. Similarly, eventually, the county commissioners meeting room and the city chamber, they'll do the same thing. If it's a Zoom meeting, that's happening, pretty much already. So in any event, we're hoping to start by the fall, maybe as early as mid-August, we'll see.
Fantastic. I'm very glad that that's going through. I heard you mention it the other day, and I wanted to make sure the whole group got that update.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for it.
Oh, yeah, even just getting all that closed captioning is, I've worked in closed captioning before, like that's huge. So yeah. Congratulations. I suppose we covered the potential for new business that we'll likely look at in June from Ginny's update. Is there any comment from the MCAT board specifically? Mike, anything to add in?
I don't really have anything to add, except we're always shopping for MCAT board members. So if any of you know people who might be interested in serving in that capacity, that'd be great. That's all I really have to say.
Yeah. On that note, where would be the best point of contact for those folks if we wanted to forward them to you?
They can just email me, or well, I guess if it's more generic, mcat@mcat.org, and then we'll see their interest and send them a link to the application form.
Wonderful. I think we can scramble up some concerned citizens to serve on that board. Delightful. I don't believe we held any agenda items. it looks like that about covers it. We're looking to meet next on June 21st of 2021. Does anyone have any other business for the good of the order?
I just wanted to highlight, Joel, I don't know if you said it or not in your quick MCPS recap, but even though you're not originating the live stream for our graduations, you're also going to carry it. And so it'll show up in the rotation and on YouTube and all those things.
That is true. I was a little remiss because I felt, oh, we're just like repurposing it, but that's true. So university is going to provide the live stream service, right, from the Washington Grizzly Stadium. And we are going to pick it up and we're going to stream it out to our social media platforms. A lot of parents got used to going to MCAT's Facebook when the Zoom meetings were overloaded during the height of the pandemic. But in any event, we'll also run it on the channel too. And that's it's 3 schools, is it, on that Saturday, the 4th?
3 schools on Friday the 4th, and Willard is on Thursday afternoon, the 3rd at 5 p.m.
Okay.
And then Sealy is probably originating theirs on their own. I think, did you guys go out to Sealy last year or did they do it themselves?
I think last year they did it themselves. The year before we went up to them.
Yeah, I think they might be doing it themselves again, just so that we're sticking with COVID stuff. But if I'll check in with them, and if that's different, would you guys be willing to send someone?
Yes.
Wonderful. Anyone else have anything else for MCTEC? The only other thing that I would want to acknowledge is Hatton, I believe, if I remember correctly from your email, this is your last meeting with us. And I do just want to say again, thank you so much for always bringing a bunch of great information and a bunch of great ideas for MCTEC and for Joel. And I hope that whatever journeys lie ahead of you, you have all success in them.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Nevin. I've really enjoyed my service, and I don't know who the next person from MCPS will be. There may be a little lag. I think the superintendent needs some time over the summer to figure out what he's doing with the communications role. And then once that individual is identified or hired, there'll be somebody to join MCTEC.
Well, we look forward to whoever that person may be. Yeah. And I think that about wraps it up. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn my last meeting.
Oh, there you go.
Hatton moves to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Amber. All those in favor of adjourning this meeting of the Missoula Civic Television Advisory Commission, please unmute and say aye.
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 Any opposed, please say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you all for another great meeting, and do go enjoy some of that nice weather between now and June.
All right, bye. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Hatton. Okay, bye.
Thank you all. Thank you all for helping me through this.
Happy to do it. I didn't even have any gaps.